Good evening, everybody. Welcome to your Rangers Review post-match reaction video after Rangers' 1-0 win over Ludogorets of Bulgaria at Ibrox this evening. A wet and chilly Ibrox. Mohamed Diamandi's first half strike. Again, another goal from a set piece, proving to be the difference between the teams. But in all honesty, Rangers should have been out of sight, certainly in that second half, passing up a number of opportunities. And yeah, there was a bit of a harem-scarum moment in the final embers of the game, and Jack Butland failed to come out and collect a cross. That was a corner that was played into the Rangers penalty area, but they managed to see it out and get their first Europa League win of what has largely been a forgettable campaign, and they move up a couple of places as well. Blair Malloy has been watching the action unfold at Ibrox. It looks like you're about to climb Kilimanjaro, Blair. It looks a tad on the chilly side. What did you make of what unfolded tonight?
First off, Derek, I don't think I can put into words quite how cold I am at this minute in time. It is absolutely freezing here at Ibrox tonight, and I'll be honest, the football didn't do a massive amount to heat me up. Yeah, I think I was having kittens more than anyone else that Rangers were going to concede in the last minute there. My full match report was all based around Rangers finally getting that first Europa League win. But yeah, the story of the game is Rangers didn't take their chances when they came along. They were wasteful in the final third. I think this game could have been a lot more comfortable for Rangers had they managed to put out a sight early doors, and it would have made, I think, everybody inside Ibrox just a little bit more comfortable. But as much as it isn't one that the just over 37,000 fans in here will remember for a long time, it is the first win of the Europa League campaign, and that in itself is big in terms of the psychology of our win, keeping that momentum going. 7 wins in a row now for Danny Rule. I don't think it can be understated just how big that is when you consider that I felt like I was saying every podcast at the start of the season that this Rangers team couldn't win 2 in a row under Russell Martin. So the fact he's managed to put that kind of run together is seriously impressive. And as well as that, the other subplot that we've been talking about all week is those valuable coefficient points, which could really be worth something come the end of the season. Of course, if Rangers do go and they win the league, they are placed to go into the Champions League straight away if they continue to pick up these coefficient points. So a handy win, although it didn't mean much in the grand scheme of things in terms of Europe. And Europe has become something of a little bit of a unwelcome distraction so far. I think a win is never a bad thing to keep this momentum rolling on.
Yep, most certainly. And yeah, there are lots of comments coming in as you can imagine. So we'll get to a few of those. But first half, they had a couple of opportunities. Ludogorets, who incidentally I thought were just pretty average. I've got to be honest. I know they've not played a competitive fixture since this calendar year. They're in their international, I'm going to say international break. They're in their winter break at this point in time. So they've not played a league match for a number of weeks. But yeah, there were some moments that they came close. The boy Stanic was told before the game, when we spoke to the Bulgarian journalist, that he's a guy to stop. I think he's the top goal scorer in the competition. He had a chance in the first half that he sort of fluffed his lines. But the goal itself, Blair, another set piece, nice little worked move, a short corner, ball floated into the penalty area. Shermiti getting a touch, Asgard just helping on to Diamandi, and a shot. If I was the Ludogorets goalkeeper, I would want my goalie to do a bit better with that, I've got to be honest. But fair play to Mohamed Diamandi getting at the strike away. You can't win the raffle if you don't buy a ticket, as they say, and it turned out to be the winning goal of the game. But I know McCoy's was watching the match on TNT, was having a right good go at the Chermiti's positioning it at points, but certainly second half, the glaring opportunities that were passed up. And there's a comment I wanted to flag up that we'll get to from Big Mike Gaming. He says, some shocking decision making in the opposition box tonight. What is Miovski thinking? Has to bust the net there, Blair, with the chance it fell to him. And I know that Danny Rule wasn't best pleased by that either.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of points there. We'll start off with the goal, Derek. I think that on reflection of the 90 minutes as a whole, the finish from Mohamed Diamandi is actually a rare moment of composure from Rangers in this game in the box. From where I'm sitting, it looks, and just for the viewers' reference, I'm sitting with the box where the goal was scored just right in front of me. It looked like a bit of pinball in the box. It looked as though no one really wanted to take control of it, and it looked as though it was bouncing all over the place. And when it did eventually fall to Mohamed Diamande, he showed that little bit of composure, took a touch, and then rifled it into the back of the net. I do agree with you. I think the goalkeeper, Bonman, he might have done a bit better. I think if you're a Ludogorets fan, you're probably wanting your keeper to come out and smother that a little bit. But in terms of the other end, Bojan Majowski, what a chance that was for him in the second half. It just looked so. I just couldn't quite understand what he's trying to do at that point. He should take it on first time. It looks as though it's came through to him, but he's tried some sort of back heel. Whatever happened, what I did see was Danny Rowe looking absolutely furious on the sideline when he didn't take it on. He was apoplectic with rage, going up and down when Majowski missed that opportunity. And I think that's just testament to a player that's maybe not been in his best form so far this season. Of course, he had that hat-trick against Aaron, and everyone kind of thought that might kick him on this season. That might give him that confidence boost to go again. But I don't know what he's trying there. I don't know what he's trying to achieve there. But his manager was certainly not happy with the North Macedonian there in the area. And like we said before, Rangers with that killer instinct, they could have made this game so much easier. They could have made it so much easier for themselves. And maybe that's a little bit of a concern going forward. There's obviously a week left of the transfer window. I know people have been discussing whether Danny Rowe's been hinting at a big name signing coming in, whether it'll be a centre forward. I think tonight maybe proved the case that Rangers could do with a little bit more reinforcements up front.
Yep. Now, just a bit of admin, folks. I've noticed that the comment came in. I noticed the numbers that we're live on Facebook, but we're not actually going out live on YouTube. We are getting the comments on YouTube incidentally, so we are firing them up. But no idea what the situation with YouTube is with that. But when we come off here, we'll make sure that it goes out on YouTube. So. In effect, you will be able to watch it. I know that Alan says, not on YouTube, guys, yet. I know that. I don't know what the script is with StreamYard, but we'll continue on regardless. And like I say, we'll stick it beyond that YouTube as soon as we come off. Let's get to some more points that are coming in. I guess one of the positives tonight, Dana Life says another clean sheet, so that's great. Yep, can't help but... another clean sheet notched up. Blair, successful Rangers teams always start with a decent back line. And of course, it was a different back line tonight. Max Aarons coming in, obviously playing at right back. Jade Magoma at left back, in the two centre halves. Nasser Giga partnering Emmanuel Fernandez, of course, with John Suter out at this point in time. What did you make of the defence part? I mean, Ludig, a better quality side takes one of those chances that they did have, in my opinion, anyway. But it's not too shabby notching out another clean sheet, I guess.
I think me and Stevie touched on it in the pre-match, that you look at that defence of Max Aarons, Nasser Giga, Manny Fernandez and Jadon Megoma, and you think there's no real natural leaders in that defence. You don't think there's someone that's really going to take charge of that. And I thought Jack Butland did well up until that point at the very end when he kind of flapped at that cross. I think that for the most part, he stepped into that breach of the leadership in the back five. He stepped up when it was needed, and a few times he managed to dig his side out when it looked as though they needed a bit of a helping hand. On the whole, though, I thought they were fairly comfortable. Like you said, I think that a better team, a better opposition, maybe takes one of those chances. And I think that if you were going forward with that defence, I would be pretty concerned. But at this moment in time, Rangers have got the injuries mounting up in that area. Obviously, no one expected to lose John Suter again. At the same time as you've got Dujon Sterling and Derek Cornelius out. And let's make no bones about it, Derek, all three of those, any of three of those walk into that back line any day of the week. So it's certainly not a first choice starting back line by any means. But they did okay tonight. They got a clean sheet. And I think that one of the overriding themes from this entire game is the psychological boost that will give to the team, because those four guys at the back, to get a clean sheet in Europe, I think that will do them wonders leading into the next few months.
Yep, most certainly. Now, the chances, lots of comments coming in with regards to the wastefulness, of course. Finlay Curtis came on, and I thought he was bright. Had a shot that was tipped away by the goalkeeper. Dana Life says that Curtis done well when he came on. Would you put him out on loan? I know he needs game time, but I would keep him around. I know that when Ali was asked about it, he said that he would be keeping him. He says he can have a big part to play, he reckons, in the second half of the season. And I sort of be inclined to agree with McCoist, Blair on that front. I know that Kilmarnock are looking to get him on loan down there at Rugby Park for the remainder of the campaign. But if I'm Danny Rule, now I'm not too sure if he'll be asked about his future in his press conference. Perhaps he will. If you're Danny Rule, are you tempted to keep him?
So I think the wingers are a big conversation from this game tonight, Derek. Start off with the point as it was raised there, Finlay Curtis. I thought he did well tonight. I thought he looked good. I still think that he would benefit from a loan because I still think that he's young and he's still a bit raw, and we've not seen a massive amount of end product from Finlay Curtis. But I do think that he has a lot of potential, and I think that he would really benefit just from playing every week. However, my other point about that and about the wingers is, as I wrote in my piece for the website, it felt tonight like it was a bit of a left wing audition. If we're assuming that Andreas Skov-Olsen has come in and he's going to be walking into that right wing slot, which you imagine he would be because of the fee that he's obviously potentially going to command, the stature of signing, you would imagine that he's going to be the starting right winger. And that leaves you with the left hand side of Mikey Moore and Jedi Gisama potentially battling it out for who's going to start on that left wing. Now, Jedi Gisama was given the left-hand starting place tonight. That is where I think most Rangers fans would agree he operates and does his best work. I think that most fans would say that Gisama has sacrificed himself a little bit by moving about. Danny Rule obviously trusts him. He obviously thinks he's a guy that he could put a bit of faith into. But I think that Jedi Gisama, his performances have suffered because of it. Now, he was given the starting role on the left-hand side tonight. And I don't think he did an awful lot to convince me that he should be starting there every week, because I thought the first half he ran into a lot of blind alleys, he ran down a lot of channels. I said in the pre-match video I really wanted him to impress me tonight, and unfortunately I don't think he really managed to do that. And then there was a chance in the second half where he put one over the bar from inside the box, and it was just a bit disappointing. Mikey Moore on the other side, well, he wasn't electric, well, he wasn't at his best. I absolutely thought that Mikey Moore offered a lot more creativity rather going forward. There's that attempt that he tries to chip the keeper, I think, from inside the box, which is really, really odd. It didn't look like he ever thought he was going to score, which is really unusual for him. It was just a bit of a limp attempt into the goalkeeper's arms, and then he picks up a bit of a petulant booking and he gets hooked pretty much straight after that. But I think you can maybe put that down to just his age and a little bit of inexperience there. But I think if you were asking me right now who I'm starting on the left-hand side out of the two of them, I think it's Mikey Moore. I think he's done more than Gisama. I don't think Gisama he's had another, like I said, audition tonight to make that left-hand side his own, and I don't think he's really grasped it. So there is a debate, would you put Finlay Curtis in amongst those two? Does Finlay Curtis go higher in the pecking order than either of those two? I'm not sure about that just yet, but what I would say is that when Skov-Olsen comes in on the right-hand side, I think Mikey Moore has done enough to cement that left-hand side for himself right now.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. Next up, of course, for Rangers, Dundee at Ibrox on Sunday. Huge game for Rangers. They need to keep that winning run going. And we've got Porto a week tonight as we round off our Europa League group stage campaign. Get a good record against Porto, so you never know. Hopefully, signing off on a high. But yeah, let's get to some more comments that are coming in. If you are watching us on Facebook, as Nori is, he says, sitting waiting on Rangers review coming on YouTube like a tube. And you're sitting here on Facebook. WTF, Derek. So, Nori, if you missed what I said earlier, an issue with StreamYard. It's coming out that we're going live, but of course, well, it must be an issue with YouTube. That we're not on YouTube at this point in time, but as soon as we come off, then we'll make sure that it's out to everyone on YouTube. So there you go. For those of you on Facebook or Facebook, good evening to you. The officials coming in for a bit of stick tonight, Blair. I thought the referee wasn't the best, I've got to say. Point from Blazing Blue says SFA standard ref tonight, god awful. Yeah, he was letting things go that he shouldn't have. And some of the decision making was a bit suspect, I would say. What did you make of him?
Wasn't wonderful, Derek. I think it was in keeping with the entire evening, to be honest. I think that there was a bit of lack of quality on the park from all angles. And like I said, I think it just feeds into my initial point that this is not a game that will live long in the memory of anybody that's been here tonight. I don't think many will be going home telling their grandkids about the night they watched Rangers beat Ludogorets 1-0, I'll be honest. But it's 3 points on the board in the Europa League. And like I said, the psychological factor of getting another win on the board, I think, is the main thing to take away.
Yeah, it certainly is. And a point sort of summed up by Bruno Sparky, maybe being out of Europe is a good thing this season for our league battle. Trying to think positive. Celtic just on the cusp of qualifying. So if they can get over the line, you'd imagine they'll have a playoff to contend with. I think it could be a good thing. Blair, of course, Rangers have got Scottish Cup duty to contend with. But if you're not travelling to far-flung places, you can really put your full focus into the league. We know there's players that Danny Rule sort of hamstrung in a way with regards to personnel that he could select for tonight's game and what he's able to select for next week. I'm wanting to see Andrei Skov-Olsen at the weekend. I'd imagine we'll see Tochi Chukwani as well. Of course, you touched on Kieran Dowell on the show this morning, heading out the door. I wonder if there'll be maybe some more heading out soon, but certainly the fans will be pitching up to Ibrox on Sunday, wanting to see Skov-Olsen in particular.
Yeah, absolutely, Derek. I think that after tonight, a win in less than the flattering circumstances, I think it's just whet the appetite for a little bit of creativity for this Rangers team. And I think that's what Skov-Olsen will bring in abundance. I think everybody leaving here tonight it's not, I wouldn't say flat, but I think even when the teams come out tonight, Derek, you know what Rangers Thursday nights are like. You know what Ibrox under the lights is supposed to be like. It's supposed to be a melting pot of noise and expectation, but it wasn't really like that tonight. It wasn't really like that. It was a bit, almost as if everybody just felt, can we just get this game out of the way because we've got bigger fish to fry in the league, and everybody knows that. I feel like everyone knows that, and I think just coming away with a victory tonight was the best possible outcome. And I think that the excitement has really ramped back up again as soon as this game's done. Back on to Sunday, because Sunday is a big game now, because obviously Celtic and Hearts face off as well on Sunday afternoon. Rangers need to go and do the business against Dundee, and we're back. We're in a title race, Derek. We're really in it now, where we're watching every game with a keen eye, hoping that teams drop points, knowing that Rangers need to pick up points when they get the opportunity. New big name signings coming in. It's all there, and I'm really looking forward to it after tonight.
Yeah, most certainly. Right, Blair, we'll let you go. Before you go, your man of the match tonight, who was the main man, do you reckon?
Oh, my man of the match. I thought Mohamed Diamande did pretty well. I thought he played quite well in the first half. I thought he looked like Rangers' most creative outlet. He took his goal well. I thought Big Fernandez did well. I thought he was relatively solid at the back. And I thought Jack Butland played pretty well as well. I know I gave you 3 there, but because he got the goal, we'll go with Mohamed Diamande.
There you go. Dio gets the Man of the Match award. So there you go, folks. Right, we'll wrap up there. Big thank you to Blair, who has braved the cold to bring us his full-time reaction. We'll bring you Danny Rule's full-time reaction on the channel a little bit later on. So keep your eyes peeled for that, folks. And we're back on tomorrow morning as we dissect the game in greater detail and look ahead to that big one on Sunday. Right, enjoy the rest of your evening, folks, and we'll chat again soon. Bye for now.